crying. Gonna be sweet there, telling me you need me. Said I'm from a city that's high school. I give them this anymore, I go. Cause you a bad man, you she don't love man. She break hearts real fast like gunman. Wanna swim down to the deep end. Wanna know all my secrets, honestly. Can you keep it real? Cause honestly, I can tell that you real fond of me. Baby, don't be shy, I can see it in your eyes. I've been running around, too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I don't understand you, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I don't understand you, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Take it, baby, baby, I ain't scared to take it. Oh, and maybe when I take it, oh, I feel it coming down too strong. Cause I want ya, and it's hard to resist cause I need ya. And it's hard, baby, yeah, cause I believe ya. Hold me tight, holding on tonight. Golden couple, get to your clean and proper. Yeah, I move, I know you can love her. You gon' let me on your mind forever. Ever, thanks, baby, turn it down, make it sweet and ready. Go slow, keep it nice and steady. Know that you've been keeping patience. Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Show me the color where you turning me on. Where you telling me you want me down.
Show me how you do that.
Pick it up, why you trying to find the pieces when you lick it up? Why I like it when you sit it when you take it up? And you know that I'm bad. Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it, how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. It's your boy, James Wilbur Williams. DJ Exclusive is in the building. Grab your coffee, your tea, whatever it is you need to get your morning going. Like it or not, it's going down. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome on in. Good morning.
Outside the grid, it's all for show. I didn't know. I wonder what it meant to be. If I let go and let it flow, I think there's more to see.
I just need a break. I'll take what you think. I just
Good morning, everybody. Boondocks Dragon. Good morning, Six Dragon Daddy. Good morning to you. Henry King, Lily. Good morning. Shay Dragon. Good morning. Win Center for Hollywood 2000. Good morning. Pixie on the Moon. T20 Roller Dragon. Good morning, everybody. Boondocks, I'm doing all right. Still a little congested, a little rattly, but I'm all right. I'm here. Happy birthday, Lee! Woo! Shout out to Lee! Woo! Six Dragon Daddy, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great, awesome freaking day, man. Happy birthday! I'm on your coattails. I'll be 44 in 2 weeks. Yeah. Tyler Hackner, good morning to you. Y'all give me a second. I forgot to share this with my mama now.
just need a break. I'll take what you think. I just need to break.
Boom. All right, there we go. Make sure that you go ahead and share, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff as well, too. Let everybody know that like it or not, it's live. It's about to go down. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. Queen is joining us momentarily. Give me Boondocks. Maureen Weber, good morning to you, Maureen.
don't care about the scene. I don't care about the location. All that matters not to me. But you wherever I go, baby. I just need you by my side. Yeah. That's until the day I die. Ever since you found me, we the only thing I see. Forever and a day, it's you and me. And they can't replicate this unity. No pressure.
Mary C, good morning to you,
watching
Mary.
and they try to do better, but you one in a million, you ain't average. Girl, I promise I'ma have you living lavish. Take a trip, girl, we're about to vanish. 'Cause I'll go anywhere, anywhere. Just as long as you with me. 'Cause girl, I know
Ear
that
Hustler,
you get
good
me.
morning to you.
So
Roller, I'm all right. Still congested a little bit.
I'll go, so I'll go anywhere.
A little rattling around in the chest, but I'm all right. Oshana, good morning, Oshana. Good to see you this morning.
Cause I know they wish they had it and they know we doing
Ear Hustler, good morning to you.
I don't care about the stereotype. I can never do it mono, we the stereotype. I'm talking left, right link. I'm talking left hand ring. I'm talking this right here forever. We ain't here just for the summer. Always on 10, we ain't never had to come up. Young right now, but we gon' watch the numbers run up. Honestly, I love the way you carry it. It was an easy decision, I had to marry it. Honeymoon, I'ma put you on
Simone
the
Lewis,
chariot.
good morning.
And they don't make them like you no more. No pressure. I can see them watching and they try to do better, but you one in a million, you ain't average. Girl, I promise I'ma have you living lavish. Take a trip, girl, we're about to vanish. 'Cause I'll go anywhere, anywhere. Just as long as you with me.
Good morning, Tiger. Tiger's in the chat, y'all. Good morning, Tiger.
So I'll go anywhere. 'Cause I'll go. So I'll go anywhere. 'Cause I'll go. So I'll go anywhere.
Pixie on the moon, good morning, Pixie.
So I'll go anywhere. 'Cause I'll go. So I'll go anywhere.
Amber Layla, good morning to you. All right, y'all. We're going to get this thing started. Melanie Dennis, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We're going to get this thing started as soon as I find this song. But before we do, what is the worst insult you can say to a ghost? What is the worst insult you can say to a ghost? Get a life. I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Like it or not, it's about to go down, man. Good morning.
Right?
Like, share, and subscribe. See y'all in a second. Good morning, everybody.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Yeah. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going down.
Rebecca Zora's in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. She's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, dreaming, trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in stride.
I am your DJ. DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams.
Good hope, dad jokes, culture, it's politics. What's here right now is the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I ended up with the plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. Tuesday to Thursday, you know how we do. Let's go. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going down.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. Hey man, let's start this damn show.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Before we get into the deep depths of a lot of the news that went on from this past weekend, even into this week, how are you doing? How are you doing this week? It's Tuesday, so.
Me, huh? Just
Child, I miss all of that. I'm good, Rebecca. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It is Tuesday. I am a bit tired, but uh, everything is good. Other than that, I'm happy to be here. I feel like we haven't been on the show in ages, like ages. So I feel
Yeah,
like it's
it's
been
been
like when we
a good
leave the
week.
show for like 3 days, it'd be like a good 5 months.
Five
What it
months.
feel like? Yeah,
Girl, no, you did just say that at the same
yeah.
time.
We said at the same time. It was right. Okay, so we're here. 5 months. So,
Mm,
so
mm,
mm-mm.
mm, mm.
Oh my God. Yeah, get it out of there. Get it out of there while I talk to the
Mhm,
audience.
mhm,
Take them down, Josh, because
mhm.
that's wild. It's that season though. It is that season where when you cough up something, it might just come out of here. If you hear me going, that means because it's coming down. It's coming down. The drainage, all of that. It's that season. I don't know where you guys are in the world. I know that you guys watch us gratefully internationally. So some people are over there where it's nice, hot, and sunny, Australia. Some people are in the really, really colder parts right now. I don't know, like in New York. I don't even know if it's snowing there. My girlfriend told me it was snowing in Kentucky. So wherever y'all at, be careful. It is that season. I know that you can get allergies all year round. I just found that out. So definitely take care of yourselves. Get all the phlegm out. Don't be going on the dates like me, where you just talking to somebody and you can't. It's so cold you can't even feel your nose just draining. Yes, that has happened to me. But you know, just be careful out there, you guys. There is so much news for us to cover after we just talked about boogers and phlegm and drainage
I
and all
know.
that
And
stuff.
apologies, because when I tell you, hate I hate people
When
cough.
people
I
do
hate
that,
people cough. I hate people cough. No, I hate spitting. I can't stand spitting.
oh,
So when it happens and it just totally disgusts me. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, listen, it's that season. You could be like you just did now. You could be laughing. It just
Mm.
Yeah, it could be like, you know what? And then like I was telling them, like my nose really just will drain. My nose will drain. You hear me? And then if I'm not careful, I get carried away. I'm just talking to you. It's on my lip. It just is on my lip. Now I'm like,
Looking like
oh
a
no.
snotty nosed little kid, and you start. You're
Yes.
like,
Yeah, it's crazy. And my girlfriend and I, my girlfriend and I were talking about how my around for me and her, like our lips get really dry around
mm,
this season. But you'll see us all the time, like passing Vaseline, but just like all in that area. But I get so dry around here, even though I got really good skin. No, I get dry right up in here. And if I'm not careful, I'm gonna be out here looking patchy. People gonna think something's going on or all up in here. But yeah, the season will have you feeling crazy. It definitely will. So everybody take care of your skin, get the phlegm out, like I said, and carry around a tissue, one that has the
yes.
lotion for you so y'all don't walk around with the irritated nostrils. All right, and that's my tidbits for this morning.
Mhm.
Let's jump right into it. We have a lot of news to cover, and I want to make sure that we get through everything this morning. I want to start with the Colorado club shooting. A 22-year-old gunman entered in LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, Colorado, just before midnight on Saturday and immediately opened fire, killing at least 5 people and injuring 25 others before patrons confronted and stopped him, police said on Sunday. The suspect in the shooting at Club Q was identified as Anderson Lee Aldrich, according to the Colorado Springs police chief Adrian Vasquez. He used a long rifle in the shooting, and 2 firearms were found at the scene, saying, quote, at least 2 people inside the club confronted and fought the gunman and prevented further violence. Vasquez said, continuing on to say, we owe them a great
Mm,
debt of thanks. Police said that they were investigating whether the attack was a hate crime or and noted Club Q's relationship with the LGBT community. Club Q is a safe haven for LGBTQ citizens, said Vasquez. Every citizen has the right to feel safe and secure in our city, to go about our beautiful city without fear of being harmed or treated poorly. In a statement on social media, Club Q stated, devastated by the senseless attack on our community, and said, and thanked the quick reactions of heroic customers that subdued the gunman and ended this hate attack. Club Q posted earlier in the day that its Saturday night lineup would feature a punk and alternative show at 9 p.m., followed by a dance party at 11. The club also planned to hold a drag brunch and a drag show on Sunday for Transgender Day of Remembrance. The club's website now says it will be closed until further notice. I want you guys to take a look at this testimony from one of the survivors.
I want to turn some focus. There's so much to the story to get through, but you've all taken my breath away. I do want to play some sound from a survivor. This is Joshua Thurman on this network earlier today.
I ran to the dressing room and a customer followed me. I don't know what happened, but something kicked in. As soon as we got in the dressing room, I closed and locked the doors off and got down on the ground. And one of the people that was in the dressing room with me immediately called 911. Club Q was home for a lot of people. It was, it's a place for performers to make a name for themselves. It was it was a home. It was not just for the LGBTQIA plus. It was for everybody. You know, we're a welcoming community. You know, it's so much to say about that place that I don't even know where to begin. It's been there for years. I've been going there since 2010, and it's always been a home, no matter what.
You know, Dave, there is this hallmark of hate crimes have at their heart. You take a sanctuary, you take a haven.
Yes. Listening to that testimony, first of all, condolences to the people of Colorado Springs from Club Q.
Yes.
People who lost their lives, people who are afraid, you know, people who experience this trauma, people who see it, who've been at the one I believe that you know of too, Bubba, out in Orlando.
Yeah, Club Quest.
Yes. And so it's like seeing it over and over again. I have so many things where we can start this conversation, but first and foremost, condolences, love out to everyone from that day. And it almost feels like, honestly, it never happened. As we were on Tuesday, it almost feels like there's not enough coverage, in my opinion, about it. It's almost like it is so normalized. We've become so desensitized that something as major as this, where they considered it a mass shooting, that they labeled it a mass shooting. We've gotten to Tuesday and we're not focused on the fact that this is a major hate crime. And that people in the LGBTQIA plus community have to defend themselves in moments like this. It's like they prepare themselves when they go out almost to know that people are going to hate. People are going to, you don't know what to expect. And they had to subdue themselves. We should not have to live in a world where people in the LGBTQIA plus community have to endure this type of hate in their lives when they're just trying to celebrate their lives. On that following day, they were supposed to have a Transgender Day of Remembrance. That means the transgender people who have been murdered by people because of who they are. Your thoughts on this, Bubba?
It's a lot, honestly. You know, I think it's one of those things where I think if somebody would have got to him sooner, he probably would have been on the ground quicker. But you know, and kudos to Richard Fierro. He's the one that actually, so I heard, wrestled him to the ground and also got one of his guns and just beat his ass with it. Honestly, he was supposed to, the shooter was supposed to appear in court today, but his injuries are so bad that his ass can't be in court.
Because the people who had to defend themselves,
they beat his ass down.
They said one of the drag queens actually had to stomp him out with the heels.
Yeah,
like this is not a joke. This is what they had to do.
This is real. Like the drag queen did. Then you had Richard Fierro. He's an ex-army an army veteran, so
His training kicked
Wow.
in high gear when I wish we had that interview. I should have pulled it. He jumped into high gear and he went to action and went to work. So it's one of those things now. We're sick of people trying to attack us. Sick of this shit. Been sick of it. And at this point, we fight back. You might take out some of us, but we're gonna fight back and we're gonna get justice.
Yeah.
I just absolutely hate this happening. And Rebecca, you said it. It's I don't know. It's one of those things where it's so desensitized to everything. When I found out about it, I saw it on TV. I'm just like, it's another one.
And we shouldn't be like that, but that's really how it is. I feel like it just happened on Saturday. The weekend rolled by. We are only on Tuesday, and it's starting to lose momentum in the news, the mainstream media news cycle.
It really is.
I want to quote something that somebody who just followed me. Her name is Uju Anya. She's actually, I believe, a professor. But I actually went on her page and I saw this quote and I wanted to repeat it. She said, "It's so sad we have this plague of guns and mass shootings. Even sadder, unarmed people at the scene now feel the need to start running up on shooters instead of waiting police because the good guys with guns will come there and stand around watching bodies pile up." That's the cops. They literally will come there. She said a lot in that. They'll come and watch bodies pile up while people are inside having to defend themselves, because we live in a world where people who are unarmed are taking care of themselves, who might look a certain way, who might, just because their sexuality is different, they have to be on high alert all day. The people should not go out because they're having fun and just because they identify with a certain, however they identify, right? They're having a good time, ain't bothering nobody.
Right.
Nobody. People who feel like they have the right to tell you shouldn't live because of this. That doesn't make sense. I think more hate crime happens because, especially in recent years, I would say mostly under, and this is debatable, but go debate your mama, mostly under Donald Trump. After Donald Trump, a lot of hate crime that we see when it comes to people of certain minority groups or marginalized groups, it has, to me, propelled. And just knowing that he's coming back in, and these people who are like white nationalists or people who are whatever, people who just don't believe, people who are Christians, overly religious, and believe they should take things into their own hands and go kill people because of their sexuality, because it's not American, it's because it's not Christian, because it's not, whatever they believe. And that's a full-on hate crime. There is no reason why people's lives should be like that. We have the gun issues. Why did the person have the gun in the first place? A rifle walks in to unarmed people. And this is what gets me. They are celebrating life, preparing to celebrate the lives of those that were taken away who were transgender by people, mostly of hate crimes.
Rebecca, you said everything right there. I don't think y'all understand. Under Trump's watch, all of this stuff has been going on. So here it is, this man running for office again. This is making a total mockery out of this democracy, man. Out of everything that's going on. It's total disregard for life. And y'all let this happen. It makes no sense at all.
Yep. And you're like, I know we haven't discussed that on here yet, but just the fact that, if you guys haven't heard already, Donald Trump has announced his run again for presidency for 2024. He's announced it. And I got the feeling of more hate coming in the world. And I don't like that feeling, because under his presidency, We ain't never seen nothing like it, at least in my lifetime. I've never seen nothing like what I seen when it came to hate for so many marginalized group because of your sex,
Yes.
because of your skin color, because of your belief, all of that. All of that. You see it, people coming out on social media happily as white nationalists. You see white people confusing uh, confusing themselves to be a marginalized group when they are a majority group here. And just because they feel like their privilege is being put on the scene and being reviewed, literally, they feel like life is over and they need to go out and make sure that white power or white religion or white whatever, American religion or whatever, stays at the forefront. And that means by any means necessary. These hate crimes have gotten out of hand.
Yes.
And there is a page actually trending on Elon Musk's Twitter. And I forget the name of the page and I wish I remembered it, but it spews nothing but hate crimes. Or it's like a right-wing page that spews nothing but not hate crimes or things that can lead to hate crimes. It spews nothing but incorrect misinformation, disinformation about certain groups. It's those people that have an issue with drag shows. When people were dying in the world, you remember when all of our right-wing leaders focused on drag shows. Do you remember that?
Yep. Uh-huh.
When people were dying of COVID in this world, in this America, in this world, our right-wing leaders here focused on drag shows. This is where we are. And this makes it problematic. They make it seem like when they push out this type of rhetoric, when they push out this nonsense to their followers, to these big old pages, the fact that Elon Musk allows it, this is a page that is on Twitter that allowed itself to get a blue check mark, paid for itself to get a blue check mark. So people believe that this is an authentic space where you can come on here, actually agree with mess, but it pushes the rhetoric and negativity out there where people think they have a safe space for them to talk about this stuff and take it to the streets in turn. It's very problematic. It's very dangerous. And we've seen this happen in so many different ways. I don't want to keep watching anybody, regardless of your sex, your party, your skin color. I don't want to watch people keep getting gunned down. I don't want to. I am tired, and I am especially tired, but that we are going to be on Friday and it's not news anymore. Is now the right time to talk about gun control? When?
And Rebecca,
yeah,
to compound it and make this even worse, and we do have a guest here as well too, to compound this and make this even worse, they're probably going to glorify this piece of crap for the simple fact, and this is allegedly, he is the grandson of Randy Vopel, who was a Republican state lawmaker in California State Assembly, who compared the January 6th attack, this man did, on the U.S. Capitol to the Revolutionary War. So they're going to lift this man up in all these circles. Watch it and see what I say. And
they've already started and said, they've focused the conversation on drag shows, how they shouldn't be happening. They're unsafe. They're unchristian. That's what the conversation is leading towards when you go to the spaces where the right is talking about this. But I really would love to. We actually have one of our viewers on the show, TJ, who says they actually frequent the club and they know what it's like to be at the club. So let's bring on TJ. Hey TJ, how are you?
Hey, good morning.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're nice to have you here on the show. I know that you say that you actually know about the club and the experience of the club. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I live a couple hours in a rural town away from Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs is the closest city, the closest developed like queer community. Uh, I went to Club Q on my 21st birthday. Went to celebrate a few other things. Potentially was going to be proposed to in that club. So I have many memories
Oh,
tied to that club. I know I'm friends with a guy whose husband used to be a long time standing house DJ and like drag queen MC for them.
hmm.
They're both okay, but the two bartenders that passed were friends of the couple I know. And as I was getting ready yesterday evening, I learned that I know one of the victims that's from my town. She worked with foster kids and also worked with CASA, which is court-appointed special advocate, which helps at-risk and foster kids get through the like the court system with
Wow.
an advocate that's not a lawyer, that's not a caseworker. And
Yeah.
so she dedicated her life work to that. So I worked with her a bit. Um,
My condolences,
and
TJ. I know that's really tough for you to, have to talk about this and know these people and be someone who is a part of the community with the club and so many memories and experiences there. When you first heard about um, the mass shooting, because that's what it was. When you first heard about the mass shooting, where were you? And did it come to you directly to your phone? Was it news that you got instantly, or
um, so I think I was seeing just how bad of a show Twitter was being because it was an overnight thing and they were saying that there's potentially going to be issues. So I was just scrolling Twitter and it popped up, trending Colorado Springs. I was like, okay, what is this? And then, just headline after headline. And it's such a sad thing to say that it doesn't surprise me that it happened in Colorado Springs, because
wow?
I describe Colorado, yeah, I describe Colorado Springs as Colorado San Diego. It's a military town. It's highly conservative. It's like a really highly conservative city, being the size that it is. And just to tell you the roots, focus on the families headquartered there.
Mm. That see, that's interesting to know that it's such a conservative community, and this is what you know. So, in a way, for a lot of people of the community of LGBTQ plus community, Club Q was a safe space. Would you say it was like a safe space for you if it's that conservative of a town?
To me, it felt like if I wanted to go have that specific experience, I was going to go to Club Q first. There's a bar closer, about an hour closer, that I would skip over to go to Club Q. There's also another um, queer friendly bar in Springs that I would skip over to go to Club Q, because Club Q is just that long standing icon in a town where that bar really, really shouldn't exist, but it does because they're not going to be told no.
Yeah.
That was Club Quest for us when I was in Florida. Quest was one of those clubs where we would skip over anything in Daytona and between Orlando just to make sure that we go there. So it is the exact same feeling. It's one of those things where it may not be the best club, but it was home. You just you knew what you were getting, you knew what to expect, and it's just the memories that you would build there. So TJ know exactly what you're talking about.
And TJ, right now you're in Colorado Springs currently, right?
A couple hours away, but
Yeah,
um,
but you're in the area.
it's a
Would you say would you say that right now, is it still a trending topic about what happened? Is it still something that is cycling in the news? Are people still talking about what just recently happened?
so it'll stay a little fresher longer here locally,
Mhm.
both the Colorado Springs in that news market and my town, because one of ours was lost, so that my town will hold on to it for little while longer, and I believe like the Colorado community will with the local news, because the local news here is fairly strong, and they don't give in to too much, like just move on to the next story. So they might cover it maybe a week longer than what the national coverage will carry.
Yeah. Are there any memoriams or vigils that may be happening in the moment in the area as well?
Um, See, I know they had two yesterday, like impromptu ones. The first one was too big, and so they had a really big one yesterday evening. And I was talking with one of the mods on the Twitch chat, and I believe that they're setting something more permanent up for, this will be a memorial vigil for for them for that day. I just don't know the details at the moment, but it sounds like that's what they're gonna do.
And how are you? Before we get out of here, I wanted to make sure how are you doing?
Yeah.
Emotional roller coaster. I was, like I said, I was headed to band rehearsal, which is my serotonin release for the week. It's my de-stressor. It helps me process everything else. And I had to walk into band knowing I knew somebody that we had just lost. So it's been, Sunday was rough. Yesterday was up and down. It'll get better, but I told one of my bandmates, I just looked at him. I was like, this is too close, and then it's close enough. I said, and that this is close as it needs to get to me ever again.
Yeah. What do you think needs to change with this specific, with hate crimes? For like, what do you think in this moment that people need to know when it comes to LGBTQIA plus community and these types of hate crimes?
I think people need to stop not playing connect the dots, because I know we're wary of doing that, because then it tends to look like, oh, we're conspiracy theory and we're just stringing things along. But when you connect the dot of Raya Kajcek or Kaya Rychek, however you say your name, when you connect the dot of Matt Walsh and what does it mean to be a woman, when you connect the dots of Boston, Children's Hospital getting multiple calls, when you document the fact that I went to a Pride this summer that had direct threats from MAGA groups that they were going to come with their big diesel trucks and circle the park. We still went, but if you connect all these dots together that nobody's connecting, because they're like, oh no, it's just like, random actors. Like, it's not. It's a push to get all these people to do this. And, it's just not being all put together. And I have faith in our Colorado legislative people that they will connect the dots. With two points with this story that I know people kind of want to lean into, with the hate crime statute, Colorado does have it, but if you're going to be charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, the hate crime charge really doesn't do anything. All it does is that, oh yeah, you got that enhancement. You really can't get anything more enhanced than premeditated first degree. So he may or may not be charged with that, but it wouldn't really affect his punishment. And just a slight correction, because we all know it's hectic in times of tragedy and just like chaos. The person that kicked the guy when he was down, yes, they were 3-inch stiletto heels, but she is very much a trans woman. So we're those of us that know are trying to kind of like just fix the words. It's nobody's fault. Like I said, it's just chaos.
Understood.
Thank you for that.
And thank you for that correction. TJ, once again, our hearts are with you. We hope that you definitely just find ways in this moment to mourn, as you have. I hope that you have time to do that as well. I know it's trying times right now. So our hearts are with you. Love you so much. Mean it. And you guys send love to TJ. TJ, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, TJ.
Thank you, guys.
So, I mean, TJ said a lot. And for TJ to really point out, our officials need to start looking at when these things are reported. This is not a joke. This is not just, we shouldn't treat it as a joke. Treat it as something that actually may happen so that people will be protected. These hate groups do not stop. They may come with more than one. They may come with one person who's holding a rifle in the name of this hate group or whatever hate group it may be because of whatever the reason. Because people are transgender, people are bi, people are gay, people are what? It does not matter. Why are you feeling like you need to come? And this is none of your business.
Right.
But TJ is correct. I agree with TJ on this. A lot of our officials need to start moving forward when these threats are out there. Please don't take it as a joke. Like, move forward. For sure. Like take action. Be there. Patrol the area. Make phone calls. Make the marginalized communities feel protected. You know? But and yes, definitely, again, condolences to everybody that's going through it right now.
Definitely. Yeah.
Send some love out to TJ. Love you, mean it. And death isn't always death is not something that we like to experience.
No.
Death, whether it's online, whether it's in your home, family, it's just hard. And this week, Bubba, it's been a lot of death. I feel like this past week, keep on just so much death. Even if you don't know the person, you feel connected.
Yeah.
And I know in this recent story that you're going to share here, the young woman, Shanquella, it's pretty tough. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah. I think the best thing to do, Josh, we'll roll the clip of Shanquella just to catch everyone up on what's going on. But to give you a brief story, Shanquella Robinson, 25 years old, went on vacation with her friends, and within 24 hours, she was dead. Let's take a look at this clip.
Become a mystery in Mexico as a Charlotte family tries to find answers into how a 25-year-old wound up dead.
Well, conflicting reports now have them wondering what really happened at a villa in Cabo San Lucas. Morgan Francis tonight spoke to the family and joins us now here in the studio. So, Morgan, when did all this happen?
Alicia, this happened about 2 weeks ago. Shanquella Robinson went to Mexico with her friends. She arrived early on Friday the 28th, and her family says the next morning she was dead.
It was supposed to be a fun, long weekend for 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson and her group of friends who went to Cabo to celebrate one of their birthdays.
She told me they had a chef. They was getting ready to eat. They was eating tacos, something, salad or something they was eating. And I said, well, okay, I love you. Have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And I never talked to my child again, and she never made it back home.
Robinson's mom, Salamandra, says within 24 hours of her daughter's arrival, she was dead. Figuring out how or why has only added to the family's nightmare. It started with a frantic call from Robinson's friends.
They said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning. They couldn't get a pulse. Each one there with her was telling different stories.
It's when the family made calls to the FBI and Mexican authorities that they learned of another potential cause of death.
The autopsy came back. They said it didn't have anything to do with alcohol. Say that she had been, she had a broken neck and her spine in the back was cracked. She had been beaten.
Salamandra says the entire group came back from Mexico, leaving her daughter's body there. Nearly 2 weeks and $6,000 later, her body is back home. But answers had to come by.
You know, I know that's not going to bring my child back, but I want something done about it.
Queen City News has spoken with officials at the U.S. State Department in Mexico who refute the claim that Robinson was murdered, saying the police's initial indication is that there was no clear evidence of foul play. Here in Charlotte, her family refuses to believe their daughter's death was an accident, and they vow to find the truth of what happened that night in Cabo.
She had a heart. She loved everybody, and pretty much everybody loved her.
An official.
So, to make this even worse, once they said that, you heard that they said that there was no evidence of foul play. Shortly after hearing of the news of Shanquella's passing,
video surfaced of her being beat up, her being attacked by one of her so-called friends that was there on the trip with her, where you hear another person holding the phone saying, "Can you at least fight back?" After that video surfaced, first of all, the entire everybody that went on the trip with them called the parents and told completely different stories, to the point where the best friend went over to the house as well to sit in her mom's face and basically told her everything that happened. When that video surfaced, none of those friends have contacted mom. Everyone has tried to reach out and haven't heard anything. So the most recent update, Mexican prosecutors said Thursday they have opened an investigation into the death of a U.S. woman seen being beaten in a video that has gone viral. Prosecutors in the state of Baja California, said in a statement they are investigating the death of a woman they identified only as a foreigner at a resort development in the town of San Jose del Cabo. A state official who was not authorized to be quoted by name confirmed the victim was Shanquella Robinson. The official confirmed that the group he said had been traveling with had since left Mexico. The FBI confirmed to USA Today that its field office in North Carolina has opened an investigation into Robinson's death. FBI's Charlotte division confirmed she was a resident of the city, but declined to comment further. Yeah, this reader, I don't like it too much.
So
yeah, go ahead, Rebecca.
So here we are. A few days ago, I actually seen it. I seen the story trending about maybe a week ago, and then at the top of last week, and I wanted to get more on it because there was nothing. It was just like people saying what happened to her. I guess that was in the local area, and it started to pick up, and then the news picked it up, and then I actually seen a video that I did not.
Yeah.
A video that popped up on my page by accident in the middle of the night. It gave me so much anxiety seeing a girl, and I didn't share it. Seeing that girl naked, standing there naked, being videotaped by a male, calling her by, I guess, her nickname, Quella, and a girl just running up on her and brutally attacking her, assaulting her, throwing her body around like a rag doll, and she is naked. These same people who were in that room, like you said, went over to her mother's home, flew out of there, went over to the mother's home. And before that, the Mexican police had said, ain't no alcohol. There was no alcohol in this death. This was trauma to her body. Spinal cord, neck injuries, as the mother stated. It was nothing like that. And then that video comes out, and you hear the male behind the camera saying, "Quella, fight back.
At least fight. Can you at least fight back?"
And she said no. That's where I broke. You can tell, like, she's like, no. She thought that she was with friends.
And
she thought that she was with friends, Bubba. And we'll get to that part of it too. But the investigation is underway.
Yes.
And
I want to say this about the investigation. The only reason I think that the investigation is as far as along as it is now is because so many people started sharing it and getting this story out there and putting that video out there that I think it started blowing up. Because as you see in the video, it said the U.S. State Department in effing Mexico, and this pissed me off, said that there were no signs of foul play or any other injury, that the last statement that came out about it being a brutal or her being attacked wasn't true. And I'm just like, how could you say that when the autopsy comes out and said something completely different? So a lot of people were going back, especially from the country, saying that from Mexico, saying that the police over there are very corrupt, the government is very corrupt, so nothing was going to happen. But I think now, because of Black Twitter, let me keep it real, going out there and pushing the rhetoric and pushing that story, it brought it to the forefront, and I'm
Mhm.
so glad that it did, because if it didn't, we would have just been like, oh, it's another black person dead in Mexico. We expect that.
Yeah. And it's this young woman who was a business owner.
Yeah.
Okay. Shanquella, and she was a business owner, young, in her 20s, thinking that she's going on a trip with these people. And the father actually gives a little bit more insight as
Yeah.
to what he knew. And it breaks my heart to watch the father speaking as well. But let's take a look at the father and what he had as information about his daughter's death.
For all of them to be in that room, and then, they come in there like, I don't know, she woke up or whatever, the way it seemed like they attacked her, man. And she naked, man. For a father to see that video, man, because my daughter's not a fighter, man. She's not a fighter, not at all. For them to do what they did, man, it just seemed like it was a plot, because they couldn't have did that over here, man. They couldn't have did that over here, where her friends, all her friends are. It wouldn't have went down like that, man. They don't realize, what they done done, man. They just robbed, they just put a hole in my heart, man. That was my only child. I'm just heartbroken, man. I can't even be a granddaddy. Can't even walk down the aisle, man. Can't even hear a voice. Can't even hear say daddy. Mom, can't even hear say daddy. Can't even hear say grandma. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know what this done to me. Just don't know, man. You just don't know. Just don't know. Just don't know. I thought she'll be burying me. Not me burying her.
What do you hope happens in this situation when it comes to getting justice for your girl?
They get charged for it, man. And they go back over there and do the time, because that's where they did the crime at. And they left her there, man. They left her in that house, man. They left her there for the maids to find her. Don't you know how much of pain my daughter suffered for the injuries, that she took? She was smaller frame, man. For them to sit there and try to get her no help or nothing. I just want justice now. I'm just angry, hurt, sad, all in one, man. All in one. And I've been dealing with this from day one when I got the phone call saying that she had passed.
That is so sad.
Yeah. And shout out to Pascal. I'm trying to get him to come on as well too. He covered this story last week, and I wasn't on with him, but we were chatting in the chat room back and forth about it. So he her father also did another long interview with someone else, and come to find out that there was another video that just came out that showed moments before the attack where
I seen that one.
and then explained why she was naked, basically, because they had decided they were going to go get in the pool. And you can see her walking around the video. Hey, it don't take y'all long to get naked, y'all. Let's go. She is ready to have fun.
And they were plotting. I'm assuming they were
plotting.
plotting, but when she got to them in the video, so the video in question is the one where she's walking out. She says, and she's walking to, how when we're like gonna sneak up on our friends, she's like, where they at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? It don't take that long to get naked, y'all. And she gets there and she's the only one naked. Everyone else is clothed,
laying in the bed. And then she said, when the girl said, I'm just gonna keep it fire. I'm gonna bring straight fire. That already, I'm like, y'all were in there plotting on what y'all gonna do to her.
And what hurts me is to hear that father and that mother have to. That broke me, because everyone describes her as a girl who had her own money, business, took care of herself, young, funded this trip. You hear in one of the videos, her male friend saying, She's like, this is my best friend. And he's like, you're gonna have to put me on your payroll. This is different things that we are seeing in different videos. And whether or not this may or may not be the case, I believe with what we've seen, we're not investigators, we're not police, but with what we've seen, we can definitely assume that this was premeditated. And if the maid was left to find her after the attack that we saw, her head hitting the side of the bed, her literally just falling into herself, and her friends telling her to fight back, we can assume that this is how she died.
Yeah.
Also, the friends and their information was blasted online. They were doxxed.
Oh hell yeah.
And many people who were in Mexico went over to the area, screenshot the guest book for that place, put all of their information online, had everybody's name. You see Shanquella's name there. You see everybody else, her friends' names on the list, and everyone called all of those numbers. You also see them put out addresses. Unfortunately, I hated that it had to do that because some of those addresses were old, but they put out addresses of people. They've reached out to them. One reporter went on the scene, got his hands dirty to see if he can get one of them to speak. Let's take a look.
I called phone numbers associated with all of her friends who went on the trip.
The subscriber you have dialed is not in service.
Most of the numbers are now disconnected, but 2 of them went straight to voicemail.
Sorry, mailbox is full.
I texted both of them and also paid them a visit since they have Charlotte addresses. No one answered at the first store, and the same with the second. And while no one was home when I rang the doorbell this afternoon, a neighbor did tell me this morning they spotted CMPD outside this person's home.
Oh.
Baby. He said, y'all not gonna do it. And then the way he was walking out from the door, they in there. They don't want to listen. I like the way he's doing it. He wants to keep this in the news cycle, and of course, it's locally where he's at. But he sat there and this is what I like about the investigative reporting. This is investigative reporting. As a reporter, especially locally in the area, you're gonna do what you need to do. He feels so connected to the story that he needs to go to this is old school reporting, getting out there, going up to the door, investigating. This is investigative reporting. And
he has posted a few videos on this, and I thought there was another reporter from that same story. They went to the house yesterday. So I saw that video yesterday. But this guy, when I tell you, he has been on it. He's on it.
He's feeling connected to the story, which I respect, but more so wanting justice. And I feel like calling the numbers and seeing that the people have and you can't find their presence on social media. They've removed themselves from social media. They tried to go live. I've seen that a couple times. They tried to go live to make a case for themselves. These kids, as the father said, need to go back to Mexico and do the time where they did the crime. Period. They left her body there, flew back without her. Of course they couldn't fly back with her, but flew back, came with her in 24 hours, flew back home, went to the mother's house, said that the girl died of poisoning, alcohol poisoning. Nobody else was affected but her.
And Rebecca, the stories I've heard, one of the guys that was there was saying that he wasn't in his story. And I'm just like, you sound like a asshole right now, saying that you weren't there when everything happened. You didn't know anything about a fight. But once you landed in Cabo, you called so you can get the directions. When you got there, they said she was passed out sick, that you were sitting there with her, holding her hand and comforting her, waiting for people to get there. And then I'm just like, but wait, the maid was the one that found her. So how was it that you were sitting there holding her hand, comforting her in her last few moments? What the hell is that?
You see how we have to play?
You can pull up on me. I ain't even gonna be there. I mean, you could try, but I'm like, see, y'all ass just stupid.
Yeah, this is what they're doing online. And this is how I know they're children, and they are guilty of something. And here is, and they try to play the victim themselves, and that's what's crazy. You played yourself. You get online. You're trying to. None of them have the same story. None of them have the same story. That girl paid for this trip. They were able to arrange a flight back home. They treated her as an outcast. And here's here's the part of the story I wanted to discuss. I have so many people who know me, who love me, right? I don't have much friends. In my environment of a group of friends growing up, especially Haitian, but we all know, especially Black kids, our parents don't like friends. Not because they don't like your friends, they understand what that may lead to sometimes when you're the one in the group. And these friends are clearly not, as you're a child, you don't see when friends are not being genuine. You want friends, you want love, you want acceptance. So you will be the one to give that. They give them lunch, give them money, give them all of this, to make them feel like they're to make them feel like they are, how do I say this, by their love in a way. And I see that with Shanquella on this particular trip. And I'll say this, and you can take it while I change my battery, but I'll say this. You can tell from everybody's description of her, she just wanted love, and she loved purely, and they took advantage of that. Jealousy, envy, all of that. And knowing in my own friend group, I've had to deal with that, where I've had to come out of myself. And I was just talking about this yesterday, and be somebody that I wasn't, because they will push you to that moment and say, see, look at her. Like, look what she's doing. And this girl was just out there like wanting to have fun. Go ahead, Bubba.
And that's it. And I hate that. And real quick, good morning, Sarah. Uncle Bubba loves you. Because my mom just texted me and said, Sarah keeps telling you hello, but you're not answering. Hello, Sarah. Uncle Bubba loves you. I'll see you later today. But yeah, Rebecca, it just, she was a very lovable person from what everyone's saying, that she was just about life and having fun. And here it is. It's really one of those things that just seems like, were y'all envious of her? I mean, they all went to college together at Winston-Salem, but it's just one of those things where she paid for everything. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I'm just like, were y'all, what was the motive? That's my thing. I'm just so confused on what the motive.
Hating could be your motive. Hating. I don't even say that as a joke. I don't say that as a, people got haters. No, people may be in your circle and be so envious of you. And I've had to see her, and I'm like, I've been in positions like that, and I've had to remove myself. My mother would say, that's not your friend. No. I'm your friend. I used to be like, oh my God, like, you're just always trying to ruin my life. I would do that to my mother. And I'm looking back at a lot of times the friendships that my mama saved me from.
Yeah.
I promise you, these girls was out to like literally get me. I'm grateful. But to know that there are other people in this world that have to experience that with friendships where they're not genuine, and the people are so genuine hearted, who are loving, who just love. That's it. They're just lovers. And I don't care what little thing or whatever may have happened, a little spat may or may not have happened. I don't know, and I don't care. Nothing ever won't, like, nothing could ever push. Why did this happen?
Why? Is jealousy, hate? I just don't understand. You hate somebody that much that you're gonna kill them and take them. And what are you gonna do? Try to rob them for money? I mean, it's 6 of y'all. What the hell does y'all think y'all were gonna get?
Money? Yeah, was it a robbery? Was
it a rob? Like, what is going? Like, why? What's the whole point?
They set her up, let her pay for everything, and there were women amongst them, men amongst them. What is going on here? That baby should be alive today. She flew there, and in less than 24 hours, she was pronounced dead.
And then, Rebecca, I hear that there's another video that shows the other girl fighting her, that shows the actual act. And see, and my other thing of that is,
why are y'all recording it?
You see?
You see, like none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
At
No.
all.
No. And this is what they didn't. I don't think they knew that it would end up like this. They thought they were going to jump her, disrespect her, make her feel belittled on this trip, make her feel cornered, make her feel small, because they all were feeling like, oh, she's so successful. So they wanted to rip her a new one, like rip her at the from her emotions, for her self-awareness, all that, just rip all that apart. And it ended up the way it did. And I pray they get flown back to Mexico, and they are tried in Mexico. And they do the time in Mexico. I want them to pay for what they did. Justice, period. That baby did not deserve that. What I felt when I seen the mother saying, I just talked to her and I put the phone down. Next thing you know, I'm hearing that she's dead. She told me she was about to get ready, change her clothes to go and have fun after she told me that she arrived. And then I hear that she's dead. Y'all, Shanquella Robinson deserves justice. They need to be under the jail.
Under the jail.
Under the jail.
And then she was also laid to rest this past Saturday, and hundreds of people came out to the funeral.
Yes. Oh, and the payment for it.
Yes.
Kyrie, he actually
$65,000.
And he gave 15 and I think 50, and it amounted up to $65,000. The parents had no idea this was going to happen. So they were looking for money to pay for this. They were looking for ways to figure out how to pay for this. A GoFundMe was set up. I believe by, I forget her name, one of the women from Black Lives Matter group. And she donated $500, and Kyrie quietly donated. We wouldn't have known how much he donated until people went on the GoFundMe and saw that he donated that way. But yes, Kyrie Irving. And the family is grateful. They didn't know how they were going to pay for anything, but the dad said he's going to do anything in his power, it doesn't matter, to make sure he buries his baby correctly. He didn't care. He was being prideful. He was being prideful and saying he does not need the help. He's going to figure it out himself. And everybody came together to help out. And so she was laid to rest. She was laid to rest. And those people who did that to her, we know they did that to her. There is no way they didn't do that. Those people who did that to her will pay. And I promise you, God does not play. And they will pay. Oh, that story took me for a loop. That story
it's been on my mind for the longest time. I think I'm just talking to so many people, and it's just like everybody brings it up to me. Like, I was just about to ask you about that story. I'm like, yes, heard about it. And it's just like everybody said the same thing that you say, Rebecca. Just when I read it, stomach and knots, couldn't sleep, kept me up all night long. And that's exactly what it did. So y'all stay tuned for it, man. It's a developing story, and hopefully justice will be served.
Yes, and I pray that that's our next story when it comes to this investigation. I wanted to. You got a little more time to stay with the people. It is a holiday week, so you got a little more time on your hands.
I might have a little bit.
Look, I might have a little something in my pocket. I don't really know.
And I'll go ahead and do this plug real quick while I'll be in the middle of it, so it gets you a little time to get together. Patron party on Friday, Black Friday patron. Oh wait, I can't do that shit. Never mind, y'all. I forgot. We got to make sure something's right first and paid for. Speaking of paid for,
speaking of something being right, we're gonna take this is a quick commercial break before we continue our news stories. Speaking of something being right, thank you so much for bringing that up, Bubba. We thank you guys for being here with us. We thank you guys for supporting us thus far. I say this every single show. I don't say this to push you guys to give us everything you got, but the only way that we're able to function on the show is with your help. We pay out of pocket. Everything that we do, we pay out of pocket. So I really wanted to bring to your attention a lot of the systems that we are using right now. Right now, we just aren't able to keep up with everything, to keep everything running from what we are receiving. So, and thank you guys to those who already do give, who are patrons. We really, really appreciate that. But we really need your help. We need your help to keep the show going
It's being
because
held
we
together
are
by staples and duct tape right now, y'all. Go ahead.
yes, we're stapling everything up. We are duct taping everything up. We're holding the house with one hand while putting out the fire in the other.
Mhm.
But that's what we make sure you don't see so that we can come here and bring you a great show 3 days a week, every
Excuse
week, while we're balancing out our personal jobs. But in that sense, we appreciate you. I appreciate you, but we need your help. We need your help. So if you guys can and are willing to, please continue to give. And we can give directly at DJ X3C and Becca's Voice on Cash App or become a patron today. That would definitely help us at patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. If you can up your pledge this month, that'll be great. If you're a first time giver, that'll be great. We're not asking for a specific amount. It could be $1, it could be 10 or whatever's on your heart. But I promise you, we use it to make sure we keep this boat afloat. Okay.
Yeah, I might as well go ahead and share it with them, y'all. So I mean, we can do a Zoom meetings, but it's only going to be for 40 minutes if we do a patron party, or I can try the Discord again, but my sound doesn't always come through with Discord. So these are the things that's stopping me from doing the patron party.
Yeah.
So
The
with
system
your
that we're
help,
using.
though,
Yeah. The system that we're using now, paid for out of pocket. We do that on our
Yeah.
own. We make sure that we're holding it down. We don't have anybody funding us. We are strictly crowdfunded and self-funded. We do this by ourselves. So please, guys, if you can assist, we want to keep the show going. Didn't mean to bury the lead there, but didn't mean to give y'all that so heavy. But we need your help. We really need your help. DJ X3C and Becca's Voice on Cash App. And if you want to give directly to the Patreon, that's patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. The next story that I wanted to actually discuss is the HBCU bomb threats. I know that
Yeah.
is skipping one of them, but I really want to get to the HBCU bomb threats because it also goes hand in hand with, I think, with hate crimes. Okay. So this is D1, Josh. So the FBI is broadening its outreach to historically Black colleges and universities. At the same time, the agency's director announced that one minor will be charged with making dozens of racist threats earlier this year against more than 50 HBCUs across the country. HBCUs are historically Black colleges and universities. Okay, guys? Saying, quote, "We have worked with state prosecutors to ensure that the individual is charged under various other state offenses," said FBI Director Christopher Wray. He told the House Committee on Homeland Security Tuesday, noting that the accused minor won't be charged federally because of limitations for juveniles. The juveniles believed to be responsible for a majority of threats, the agency said in a statement. Threats against HBCUs peaked in January and February when at least 57 colleges received bomb threats via phone calls, emails, instant messages, and anonymous online posts, according to the FBI. More than a dozen schools had to lock down or postpone classes on the first day of Black History Month in February after at least 18 HBCUs received bomb threats. Senior FBI officials held a conference call for student journalists at HBCUs Monday where they explained how law enforcement agencies nationwide have worked to stem the threats and pinpoint the culprits. During the call, Deputy Director Paul Abbott told the students that the agency is committed to ensuring the safety of all Americans, saying, quote, "The type of threats that we've seen here that have victimized you and your institutions undermine the most basic expectations of safety and security that every American," according to a transcript of the call obtained by CNN, "threatening a religious or academic institution is among the most serious and despicable of criminal offenses, especially when your communities have been victimized historically, targeted by hate speech and violence. The fear and disruption these threats cause within your communities is completely unacceptable, and our work in investigating these threats is of the very highest. So that's what they said, right?
Rebecca, you probably about to say, girl, I'm real quick. I call bullshit.
Thank you.
I call bullshit. And I say that because you're going to blame it on the juvenile because, one, you can't put their name out there. You can't put their face out there. Let's blame it on the juvenile or a child so we can make it seem like this blame it on the child so we go ahead and get this out of the news and put out this bullshit ass statement that says you guys have been victimized for so long and we're going to help fix that. We caught the little bastard and he's going to be punished for doing that to you guys. You know, we don't want you to go through that. We love our HBCUs. I call bullshit.
Yeah, me too. 100%. And I'll tell you why. When those people in 2021 walked up to the steps of the Capitol and threatened to take over, do you know who was getting do you know how heightened the bomb threats were to HBCUs? We've covered them on our show in 2020 when oh boy won presidency. We've covered it on our show, these bomb threats at FAMU, BCU, FLOMO, all the ones that ain't my school, HU, Howard. We've covered them all. We've talked about it on the show. Where were these? Let me tell you. It was almost like in these schools, they had to lock themselves down because the feds were saying they're just threats. We just talked about the Club Q incident, and TJ explained what he wanted, or what they wanted people to know, and that was believe it when the threats come. Don't just push it to the side. Don't ignore it. Believe it when the threats come. We weren't getting that respect at HBCUs. It was almost like these are threats. They turned out to be fake. And now we're hearing that feds or the FBI wants to actually rally around HBCUs. It's great to hear. There was a recent episode, if anybody watches All American, but Homecoming, but the show All American, and then there's the Homecoming version. Homecoming is a focus on HBCUs. And they had bomb threats at the school. Shut down. The arguments were these, and they made sense. Do we want more police presence at the schools? Do we want more police presence at HBCUs? We feel safe in our communities. This person who is threatening us is making us feel unsafe. And we're unsure if we want more police presence at HBCUs. Then the FBI was questioning, could it be one of your own making the mistakes? Making the bomb threats? Are they stable mentally? Like, could it be one of your own? Because we've combed the campus. There is no bomb here. Just because there's no bomb that y'all found here does not mean the threats aren't real. That the threats, while you guys are looking for this, the person could be creating it and trying to bring it on another day, throwing y'all off, whatever. We need the assistance, but we don't need people who do not believe us to work with us. People who see us as inferior to work with us, alongside us, to protect us. We don't need that. So all of this, and I don't even know. Yeah, you're right. Somebody said, question, would it help to insist on Black officers? Officers, period. The fear of having their more presence of officers, police on campus scares Black students. I need you guys to understand that.
Yeah.
That scares Black students. Now you feel like you're living amongst you. Campus is supposed to feel comfortable and safe. Now you feel like you're being policed already. We're policed in the world. The one place that we're supposed to feel comfortable at, getting an education, being ourselves. Because we already are in I mean, it's a race war outside.
Hello.
Police and Black folks don't get along. We see this right now. So to have that fear be heightened on campus where it's supposed to be a safe space, you see how the conversation gets? It gets a little controversial. Where do we feel safe? Where do Black students feel safe? White people are walking around with rifles. Not even only white people. People with hate in their heart about HBCUs. It ain't got to be just a white person, but people who walk around with hate in their heart for HBCUs, Black students, people who are in marginalized communities, LGBTQIA communities. People are walking around with guns just to go and shoot, or preparing to shoot up places. I don't think the feds take that seriously when it comes to marginalized communities. I do not think they do when it comes to an HBCU. You can say it, but it's so unsafe for us that we are scared, and we're training ourselves to protect ourselves because we are afraid of police presence.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are Black kids, Black students, marginalized groups, where it's normalized to hate us. It's normalized to get away with murder for supporting us.
Child. And then Roland said it best, and I was thinking the same thing. You know, even if it was one of those things we added Black cops to the HBCUs, scared of them. I ain't gonna say we scared of them too, but they even worse for the simple fact now they gotta act like they're big and bad and on a higher level than us. That's always been that Black cops has been. And whenever I'm getting pulled over by a Black cop, I don't think I've ever had one that's just like friendly. You know what I mean? I understand you're doing your job, but it's like a certain way that you're gonna talk to me. You gotta act like you have a superiority complex. Calm down. We the same color, bro. That's all right. Do your job, but damn, you ain't gotta be a jackass about it.
Yeah.
License and registration. I'm like, damn, you on 10, bro. I'm good. I got what you need.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Ole online the other day, or I was commenting on something that she posted, and I know Mara, you and I were talking under there as well. Mara Sharice, shout out to her. Something about the effect of more police presence in NYC or something to that effect, and she was saying, Mara was saying something like there's a lot of corruption in there, basically, like they're like the mob over there.
Yeah.
And I said, honey, the things that I seen when I was dating NYPD. Yes, I dated NYPD. When I first got to New York, very handsome man. I was just a little 21-year-old, and guess he just liked my young, fresh self. Still had milk on the tongue. And I was there for like a week. I met this NYPD guy, handsome man. And
it's
at the time they were carrying around, I don't even know if they carry that around anymore, but like a bomb, a big thing on the side of them that detects bombs. Like, at the time. Yes, they were. It was huge. I don't even know what they called that, but at the time they would carry that around them. I was working in the Rockefeller Center at the time. But I say that to say, went out on a town with them. Mind you, I'm new in New York. Went out on the town with them. He's showing me around. Why is your best friend one of the biggest drug dealers the city has seen? Got homes that look like they're not trap houses, but in New York are different. Like they're different. So I mean, I'm in a high rise. It looks abandoned, but it's actually beautiful inside. It's a trap house. So weird. And then there's like a little cute Yorkie running around. But I say it's to say that's where they were dealing out. Then we went to a dinner. Why am I at a dinner with these old people? They were like 40 plus. I'm at the dinner, and then what I saw them doing at the dinner, what the hell is happening here? And he's just looking like, my best friend knows I'm a cop and he just puts me around this stuff. But I've done things for him, do things for me. I'm like, Lord, my mom didn't send me to New York for this. My mama didn't send me to New York for this. But this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. NYPD corrupted as hell. Black folks. And you know what he would say? He'd be like, it's the black people around here. They be the ones trying to fight me back. It's the black people around here. They be the ones wanting to fight. They be the ones. I'm like, well, they're black and you're coming at them a little aggressive. You don't think that? You don't think that? And they were terrible. NYPD was terrible. Why are you smiling like that?
Because, child, I want to know what they was doing in the house. You see me? I'm intrigued. Like, what was they doing?
They was doing. It was a lot of like drug activity, hiding it. Guns.
It was like, so like you was really like in the Batman. It seemed like, girl, you was in Gotham City.
I didn't know that I was going to experience that. And I was a Christian girl coming over there in New York.
This adventures.
It was adventures. And then I dated somebody else. But then I dated another guy and he was always getting stopped by NYPD. We were on foot. How are we getting stopped by NYPD?
Damn.
We're on foot. And because the guy that I was dating at this point had an accent, and he was half white, half black, and he had an accent from Russia. And they would mess with him. Stay focused. They would mess with him. So NYPD would mess with him so bad. One time we were just walking and they kept saying like, oh, what did they say? They called him the C word. Why? I don't know. That was really weird because that was a thing in New York. Yo, you C word, P word, and all this stuff. They were just going in on him. And he was like, why? Because I'm Russian, I'm African. Why are you guys talking to me like that? They was like, go back to your country. This is NYPD, black NYPD. Go back to your country. You know what they told me? And he was like, F you. My man turned around and said, F you. They pinned him up against a random vehicle that wasn't NYPD's, that wasn't ours. They pinned him up against the vehicle and told me to keep walking. That's what they told me. Keep walking.
Girl, will you write some memoirs, girl? I need to hear all about this. God damn.
They told him that, oh, if you fight me back, we will we'll say that you had drugs on you. And he's like, I don't have drugs on me. While they're holding, and the man pulls out something out of his hand. He said, oh, I got drugs. I will never forget these days in my life. With NYPD, yes. NYPD of color. So, yes.
Damn,
yes.
Becca.
And this was back in 2012. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a young thing, little 21-year-old living out there, and it was, I didn't know that was what it was like. You on foot. How are you getting harassed by NYPD? But I guess because majority of what you do there is walk. So, but they will harass you. They'll pull up on you. They'll make you feel like you're less than. Yeah, I have lived some lives. I definitely have. Praise the Lord for Jesus. Praise the Lord for change. But yeah, no, but like we don't want. Look, all of that to say at the end of the day, police presence, whether black or white, does not make black people feel safe. No, more police presence. If we felt like we can have that presence and it be safe, okay. But it is a reluctancy when we talk about that being those being our protectors.
Yeah.
There's a reluctancy there. There's a hesitancy for sure. You know, I don't know. We at 10:39. What you want to do, Bubba?
Let me keep going.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you guys a special holiday show again. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this from the kindness of our good hearts and our pockets. That's how we able to get on here and do this for you. You know, hopefully we're not holding you too late, Josh. I got one more story I want to cover, and that is you guys, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi steps down. Nancy Pelosi steps the hell down. No, you know what? I'm gonna get to Nancy Pelosi in a second. We got to cover this one. This is last week's story, and we need to get to it. Same-sex marriage. We're gonna talk about marginalized groups today. We're gonna talk.
Get it, man.
We're going to talk about marginalized groups today. Ain't no running. The Senate is set to vote on a bill to codify the Supreme Court's same-sex marriage protections after a bipartisan group of senators unveiled a deal earlier Monday, signaling, and I think this was last Monday, signaling that they believe they have the votes to get past a filibuster and move the measure to President Biden's desk. The New York Democrats' move indicates that the updated bill has the support of 10 Senate Republicans needed. The new deal updates language from before the election and includes provisions to assuage GOP members on religious liberty related issues. I don't know.
What assuage? Assuage? As you age?
That's really what it say. As you age.
As you age.
But Schumer said in a statement, because my top priority is to get things done in a bipartisan way whenever we can. We determined that this legislation was too important to risk failure. So we waited to give bipartisanship a chance. I hope for all of that he said, but I want y'all to take a look at this. I want y'all to take a look at how tight Ben Shapiro can be about same-sex marriage, y'all. Let's take a look.
With the Democrats taking the Senate, they are now going to move ahead with a vote on a gay marriage bill. Now, what is the purpose of a gay marriage bill? There is no purpose to a gay marriage bill. Obergefell has already been ruled upon. And a simple gay marriage bill is not even a constitutional amendment. So it's not even above and beyond the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruling is still the law. If the Supreme Court ruling were overturned, a quick majority in the Senate could quickly overturn this law. Okay, but the idea here is that you're going to get all the Republicans on record as to whether they support or do not support same-sex marriage. Now, let me just put this out there for the Republican senators. If you vote in favor of the idea that society has an obligation to recognize male-male or female-female dyads in the same way that society has an obligation to recognize male-female, you should not be in the Republican Party. You shouldn't. Okay, the reason I say this is not because I wish to shrink the size of the Republican Party. Because if the fundamental basis of human society is male-female child, and you think that by passing a law you can change that reality, you do not belong in government. This is a very simple proposition. Men are not the same as a man and a woman who are capable of becoming one flesh and producing a child. This is not difficult stuff. Many Republicans will be tempted to vote for this simply to avoid the conflict, so that people don't yell at them. Oh my gosh, you're not respecting love is love. Now, first of all, the love is love argument was always bullcrap.
Oof. Yo, I
hate you.
and I know people don't agree with me on this because he's not the best person. He's handsome to me, but he is whack, loser.
Whack as shit.
What all he's saying here is, you see, and this is hate. I need y'all to focus on this. I'm taking y'all somewhere. Come on with me. Come on. Come here. Let me talk to you for a minute. All of this on his platform that he's spewing out, he's saying that if you believe in same-sex marriage, love is love, ain't no problem with that, but you should not be in the Republican Party. The Republican Party, the Reds, the right, conservatives, evangelicals, them, they utilize their platforms, these huge platforms, to say that, okay, y'all can say that, but it isn't right. We must stop it by any means necessary. This is what the radicals from the right, the alt-right, the Antufas, this is what they're hearing. The people who marched up that Capitol, the domestic terrorists, this is what they're hearing when they hear people like Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, a lot of these people who have these platforms, Alex Jones, these ridiculous folks who have these platforms who spew out things about certain groups of people. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Brian Kemp.
Damn.
Brian Kemp. Ron DeSantis. Somebody with a last name called DeSantis has a nerve to just be walking around here the way he do. It's crazy.
Ted Cruz.
These people utilize their platform, you guys.
Herschel Walker.
Now, Herschel Walker, we're going to get to him in 1 second too. But these people utilize their platforms. I need you to understand, And they push out this rhetoric to people who are radicals who go out and do the things that they do. You got a problem with same-sex marriage, and you're talking about it on your show. You're saying that if you do not believe in male and female, you shouldn't be in this party. You know what the radical hears? I must stop everybody who is against this way of thinking.
Yep.
And we see things that happen in Club Q.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely right.
Okay. We hear about bomb threats. Elon Musk calls it freedom of speech on his platform.
Crashing and burning.
Marjorie Taylor Greene puts up a whole Facebook page dedicated to conspiracy theories of mass shootings. On Facebook, on Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook. Hate groups are on there, thriving. We've been subjected to watching people get in their vehicles, take their guns, live stream mass murders. We've been subjected to watching children record what they thought would be their last words in the midst of shootings. Because the right thinks that not talking about gun control the day after, months after a mass shooting helps save lives. And when a mass shooting happens like Club Q, to keep it out of mainstream media and not discuss gun control is good for the party. Continue pushing the NRA rhetoric. It's good for the party. Continue pushing that same-sex marriage. It's cool, but it ain't cool because it's not good for the party. HBCU should not get funding or protections. White lives matter. This is what we're seeing. Ben Shapiro's at the head of it. Alex Jones is at the head of it. Marjorie Taylor Greene at the head of it. Bobart is at the head of it. We don't have people who actually understand in the right what they're... No, I think they understand exactly what they're doing. They do. They don't care.
They don't care.
My condolences, my prayers are with y'all, and let's keep moving. That's how they move. And their blood is literally on their hands. Kyle Rittenhouse is out of jail and walking these streets as we speak. After murdering people.
Being a MAGA superhero.
Murdering people who weren't even black, but were allies to black people and protesting in the name of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, people who were murdered by cops. So, look, now that doesn't stop all of us. Thank you. Now, this is where I'm at with it, though. I think that we should continue to fight these people back, y'all, on this space of Twitter that Elon Musk has taken control of, allowed Trump to get back the platform.
And Taylor Head Green. They just said this morning that she's been reinstated on Twitter. I'm just like, oh, y'all don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious?
Elon Musk, you don't find that suspicious? You could ban my Twitter account. It ain't nothing but porn on there anyway. Ban it. I don't give a damn stuff.
Wait, were you banned?
No, girl, I'm still on there.
Oh my god! Because porn is free on Twitter. Like, what do you mean?
It
like,
is.
it's just like the simple typing in.
Wait,
and you find
I
everything.
thought you said you didn't know about it. Now you know about it?
What, porn on? No, that's where I literally be on
Okay.
scrolling, and that's literally you say you go search something like, okay, let me search for blue shirt like meme. Blue shirt meme comes up as blue shirt meme with something in his I cannot. It shows you all types of things you're not even into. You're like, what the hell? How did that get? Now, how did that happen?
Okay.
What now? And now you at church, like, let me get out of the. I didn't mean to get on.
Child can't even open it up in public.
Opening up the Twitter app is hell. Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it, because you don't even know how your timeline refreshed because Bubba done went and liked something. That thing that he liked is now on your timeline.
So the hell is.
You had nothing to do with it. The thing that he liked is on your timeline.
Like, what the hell is? How did this come up here? What is this?
You don't find that suspicious? No,
okay.
but Elon Musk is raving about his percentage going up, and this is actually the effect of what happens with people who are billionaires, filthy rich. He's like a trillionaire. He's like one of the richest people out here, but he has so much money. He's bored. He didn't like the way that people were talking about him on the internet. He now owns that special place for people on Twitter. We had a funeral that I'm still waiting to be funeralized. It is not. It has not been funeralized.
We've been waiting since Saturday.
Somebody said they don't know who got the body. You know how they like, we waiting for such and such to get the body. We've been at the wake and we don't know who got the body today. Like, we've been at the wake. Yeah, nobody is. It's a lot happening in that space. As funny as we try to make it, here go black people laughing at our pain. We know what's going to get crazy on there. The fact that it shot up, what was it, 500% when people using the N-word under Elon Musk's leadership is problematic. The fact that he's reinstating people who have started wars, who have led in their name domestic terrorist attack. I will never forget Charlottesville, Virginia, after Donald Trump won. And when he got up on the mic, he said it was both sides. I will never forget these things. I will never forget that he said he won the election. And everybody on that alt-right went out there, charged into the Capitol with our leaders who are really, we thought were untouchable, detached their alarm buttons from under their desk, stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop, took monuments have been in that Capitol for centuries, took it and started walking around with it, brought them home. People died that day. Police officers feared their lives. This is who he let get back on this space. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who pushed out all this rhetoric about these conspiracy theories about school shootings, gets an opportunity to talk again. Is it what we're doing in America? Is this what we're doing? Is this? So anyways,
this
on
is
these
America.
platforms, it's just, that's what I'm saying. Be prepared. While we try to laugh at our pain right now in the space, we're doing that to protect ourselves, but we're doing that because we know what may happen because we've already experienced it in less than 10 years. Tired. I'm tired. Speaking of Herschel Walker, let's take it down. I don't know if you guys got that, Josh. I can give you the link to it. Herschel Walker actually took to one of his events where he's speaking to his constituents, letting them know what he will do for you. Okay. And I'll drop it in the chat for you while you grab that. I don't know if you have it already, but this is how we're going to end the show. We're going to have a conversation about where we're going to go. But Bubba, have you seen this? Herschel Walker busted a move. It wasn't about him particularly busting the move because we've seen him doing crazy stuff. It was the song he was dancing to. Josh, you got it? Okay. While Josh pulls that up.
I'm Herschel Walker.
While Josh pulls that up, I need you guys to also, white folks, stay out of black folks' business.
Real quick, Becca. Josh is in the reader. Tiger says.
No, I dropped the link right here too.
Okay.
I need y'all to stay. I need white people to stay out of black folks' business. There was a white man on social media who tried to come out and say, I find it funny. Isn't it funny how Herschel has this way of speaking? He has this build. He's this and that. And people want to associate that with being stupid. being ignorant. Isn't it funny how they're doing that? Well, a black man. First of all, clear person. You don't get to do that to make Herschel Walker look great for your party.
Right.
Okay. You don't get to do that to make Herschel Walker look great for your party. But before we get into that conversation, I want you to take a look at Herschel Walker at his event, speaking to his people. Yes, you heard correctly. You heard correctly. That was Bone Thugs and Harmony in the background. Crossroads.
What was this?
And he was doing who knows what. Now, somebody said, man, I know this was not cleared at all, big dog. And Crazy Bone responded and said, hell no, it wasn't. And what the hell was he doing dancing to the song? We don't know. And this is why we don't need white folks in our business to tell us what's being racist or not. This should not be leadership, is what we're saying. Trump shouldn't have been leadership. People who do not fit the qualifications, people who do not fit the criteria should not be in leadership. We're not saying, oh, you are black and we never had a black person seated. No, this is not what we're on here. You don't fit the criteria. You don't even have transferable skills. This is what we're talking about. You're supposed to be talking to these people who do not even know who the hell Crazy Bone is, who do not even know who the hell Bone Thugs and Harmony is. You're supposed to be talking to these people, and you're doing like what we think is a different version of what's supposed to be the moonwalk, I guess, and it's not giving a thing. What are you going to do for your people? How will you help your people? Not aliens. How will you help the people of Georgia?
Rebecca, you didn't know? I don't know if you know. Vampires are cool people. Are they not?
How do I... When we are saying that Herschel Walker is not the smartest person in the world, we're not taking away from him being a great, football player, boxer or whatever. I know that he was in sports for some reason.
Football.
Yes. We're not taking away from that. He was great at that, but he doesn't have a transferable skill here, guys, to run for the seat. There's no transferable skills. They just tapped on him, and now they want to say that we're being racist against him. No, stay out of black folks' business. We calling him out, and now you trying to come here and reverse on us? Go sit down. The man does not fit the criteria. And that's it. While you guys be out there saying you guys associate a certain look with ignorance. That's right now we're having a black folks conversation at the table. We're saying he don't fit it. He out there letting people coon him. He out here cooning, chucking and jiving, letting people embarrass him. He's embarrassing himself.
He really is.
That's what the conversation that we're having. He is great at football. Good, knows the plays, knows how to handle business. He did that. He was successful there. But we just don't see any transferable skills for the Senate seat. Thank you. Management. But
oh my gosh, it's just like
child.
Like over a million some people voted for this. This is this your champion? Is this your king? Is this your king?
Is this your king?
We will not have it though.
We will not have it all. So we are at the end of the show, guys. I hope that you guys had fun with us. We had fun with you. Listen, because my waist is wasting today. Look at that. Cinched. So I've been working out. I've been in the gym.
We got people in Washington that have gotten too weak. All they want to do is let the people ride their bike. That's what Senator Warnock is doing. Let Joe Biden ride his bike. I'm Herschel Walker, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate in America, in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. Words. Words make me happy.
Herschel,
Yes.
Herschel, what?
Yes, Rebecca.
Where exactly are you running?
Rebecca.
Do you know?
I can't hear you, Rebecca. Yes.
Herschel,
Oh, there you are. Hello, Rebecca.
Herschel, sir, thank you so much. I'm over here actually.
Oh, hey.
Where exactly are you running? Do you know what state you're running for?
Yes, in South America, Tennessee. Okay. Africa, maybe.
And Herschel, the allegations that have been put out there against you and your family, would you say those are true about the multiple women and abortions?
Look, Rebecca, I just want to make sure that, we are not letting girls play boys basketball and not letting boys play in girls polo soccer team. Hockey.
But Herschel, wouldn't you hold on, Herschel? Give me a second now. Wouldn't you say, as a conservative, as someone who had allegedly paid for multiple abortions and who has a son who's actually identifies from the as a conservative, but also a part of the LGBTQIA community, wouldn't you say your stance on boys and girls in sports or in anything, wouldn't you say that would be problematic when you actually have a son who's part of the community? Wouldn't you say that is hypocritical?
Can you repeat the question? I don't know nothing you just did.
So, do you have a son that is part of the LGBTQIA plus community?
I don't have a son. I just like voting. Vote for America and Trump, Donald Trump. He good people.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Herschel Walker. He's a fine young man.
Yo, we're out of here, bro. We're out of here. Yo, you guys, if you guys have been watching, thank you guys for supporting. Every single one of you it's 100. It's over 100 of y'all on here. If every single one of you could really give $1 today, that'll be great. We gotta pay for this system to make sure that you guys see us again after this month. We're paying for it again out of pocket, y'all. Also, Josh, let us know as I give this runoff. Also, we're doing this out of pocket. As you guys continue to help, we'll be able to pay for these systems that will allow Bubba to do the Patreon party, guys. It gets expensive. It gets really, really expensive out here. So please assist if you can. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. Also, directly, it comes straight to us. Comes straight to our accounts where we are able to pay for what we need for this show. Becca's Voice and DJ X3C on Cash App. That's Becca's Voice and DJ X3C on Cash App. For those of you who want to pay on PayPal, I'm RebeccaAzor@gmail.com on PayPal. Bubba?
And you can just send it to Rebecca's as well, too, child, because I hate PayPal.
It comes to me anyway. That's how I pay the systems. So RebeccaAzor@gmail.com on PayPal and Becca's Voice on Cash App. You guys, I think we have the answer to why Herschel danced the way he danced. We're going to play that video and we're going to get out of here. Josh, play it.
Oh my God, it was the same day.
That could have been it. That could have been it. But I feel like SpongeBob did it better. SpongeBob did it better. Oh, that really was it.
Oh my
SpongeBob
God, that
did
was
it better,
really.
though. SpongeBob did it better. Oh. Love you guys, mean it. I hope that you guys have a beautiful Tuesday. Eat some tacos for me. Mwah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Herschel SpongeBob. I'm Herschel SpongeBob Walker. I want to thank you for talking today and joining the Like It or Not show on the Benjamin Dixon Channel Morning Show channel on the YouTube or the TV and stuff. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all again for tuning in this morning. We hope y'all enjoyed the show. Remember everything Rebecca said. I won't repeat it for y'all because I can replay it and say it there. But anywho, y'all, your affirmation for today is I am grateful for my life, even when things are hard, because it's given me so many opportunities for growth and change. Ooh, I said a word, then let me drop the music and say it again. I am grateful for my life, even when things are hard, because it's given me so many opportunities for growth and change. Y'all gonna be great, man. Love y'all, mean it. We will see y'all in the morning. Deuces.
I'm hooked on you like phonics. Gotta be disappear. Whip that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me, baby, shade it.
I'm Herschel Walker, and I'm leaving the show.